Good day. Today's tip is something that if you practice could revolutionize the way you paint. I call it painting the shape of shade. Actually, likely many artists call it that because that's exactly what it is. Here's a few examples I did up quickly to show you. While at first glance you may wonder what some of them are, the point is not to paint something recognizable, but rather to teach your brain to 1. See values versus lights versus darks, and to learn to see shapes rather than subject. This practice will teach you to draw what is there rather than what you think is there. In other words, what something really looks like as opposed to what you think it looks like. And as you can see, not always, but quite often, the shape of shade will describe something in a beautiful and accurate way. This is Smoochie. She's a llama. And this is my little yellow girlfriend, Freddie. Now, sometimes you may look at something and say, now, what the heck is that? Well, I will show you. This is my cousin sitting on the beach, and I'll just show you by outlining the rest here. Gives you a better idea of what's going on. There you go. My cousin sitting on the beach. This one here, a little more challenging to see what's going on there. This is my son-in-law. Here I'm just going to show you by describing the rest of his face and head. Maybe not super accurately because I don't have the photograph in front of me, but he's sitting there with his hand on his chin. There's the rest of his shoulder in the sun, and there's his hand on his chin. Okay, so what I recommend for this exercise is that you get yourself a black and white photo, something like this, and just grab some color, any old muck you've got in your palette, and paint over top of the areas of shade on that black and white. It will force you to really see the shade. Now, you may look and say, oh, there's a dark iris or pupil. I need to make that dark. But actually, that is in the sun. So let's just leave it out. And there is a little bit of shade just as the eyeball tips in there. And then shade here, here. And just practice that with a couple of photographs. I recommend black and white because it's easier to see the lights and darks that way. And then once you've done it on your painting, then you can come down here and have a go at it without your painting. This will improve your drawing skills as well. And I think you'll be impressed with yourself when you do a couple. You'll find it's quite amazing how the shape of shade will describe an object. It's hard to get away from wanting to outline everything, and I encourage you to avoid that if you can. Don't be afraid to just leave some edges unsaid. Let's see, what do we got? You come down here. You are all in shadow. Down here. Here. And there's a little bit of shadow on that beak, not a whole lot. Could have made it longer. Didn't. Doesn't have to be perfectly accurate. At any rate, you get the idea. Have fun with that, and all the best with this important technique.